Hello and welcome back, everybody. Hope you are doing well. Lovely Thursday evening. Good news. The actual important turbo controller has arrived. So, that's good. We actually have, hopefully, the correct turbo controller. And other than that, plans for the regional coming in about a month and a half is being finalized, so that's good. Working on my team a bit more. I have thankfully found out I've got about a year to get enough CP to qualify for Worlds. So that's good. Any IC I will, so like any IC. I mean, I think is the one I have to qualify for. But yeah, I've got some good stuff. Nice, how about that on ladder? Fun. Delightful. Hello, Aiden. How are you doing? But yeah, it's good, good plans. Still working on my team and, like, fixing the problems, because there's definitely still some issues with the team. I need to work on them. Namely the fact that Extreme Speed Dragonite is still a scourge of existence, because it's Extreme Speed Dragonite. The thing is annoying me. It's like, Extreme Speed Dragonite, I think, is probably my biggest fear, just because I just get annoyed by it. But I'm working on plans. Maybe I'm adding Farigoraph if I think about adding it. But yeah, there's a couple of stuff to think of. There's a couple of plans I need to work on. There we go. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of it. Good luck with everything. Thank you very much, Dark Litten. I very much need the good luck. Forehead. Also, one of the mods to go grab Ash is link !Ash. I am indeed forehead. I am very forehead. Not spoon-fed, I'm just forehead. How are you doing? How are you doing, Ash? Good to see ya. But, let's try and get a shiny today. Because again, so, for those who weren't here yesterday, 3 sandwiches in this outbreak, 1 shiny. So, we need to make up for lost time. Get 2 shinies. Quick. Very quickly. This hunt. I mean, I love my Unova, but I don't, you probably missed them. No, they stick out. Shiny Sandile sticks out very heavily. It is a very bright gold. Because, like, these ones blend in. You can see it very clearly. But, because, like, there was a time we had over, like, 10 times odds on a shiny for a sandwich. There are times where your luck is just that bad. That's what this forehead ever. It's forehead things. Forehead reasons. The best would do it. Who are they, Rosie? We know it's not you. Did I say it the best? I mean, make it forehead. Forehead mode. Forehead moment. Forehead moment. It's not you, Rosie. We know this to be demonstrably true. This is established demonstrable fact, Rosie. I don't like that about. I don't dislike them. Like, I do like shiny crocodile. I get why people don't like it, but I do like the sandy, bright color of it. It looks very desert. And as someone who's a fan of sand, bans the streamer. Bonk. Hey Ash, don't ban hammer me. Don't hit me with the ban hammer to make me as short as you are. Cause like I know that I sometimes say get on my level, but that's not what I'm talking about. Don't make my level lower. So you can hit me with, you don't need to climb on that step stool to hit me. how is the Flufo is doing well. She was not doing too well earlier today because we had a bit of a brief thunderstorm. And she was not too fond of that because, like, the rain earlier. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it's when the rain is coming down so aggressively that, like, 30 feet away, you can't really see anything. And it's just slamming into the side of the house like someone's just turned on a hose at, like, just full power through one of those, like, pressure hoses and just blasting the side of the house with it. And now imagine that across the entire house. And there's a little bit of thunder. But it only lasted, like, 20 minutes. And then it was gone. So she was not enjoying that 20 minutes. Despise. So you despise shiny Shrexpion. Noted, Dark Letter. Yeah, we've already gotten Shrexpion. The shiny reaction for that, I believe, actually went up earlier today or last night. I periodically forget when they go up and when I have them go. Why am I facing so many Trick Room teams now? See, that's the reason why I don't play Showdown for, like, actual practice. Because the stuff that... Because if you actually compare the Pikalytics stats from Showdown to on Switch Ranked, you get pretty significantly different numbers. You know, there is a not massive difference in terms of, like, a few Pokemon. Like, obviously, number 1, 2, and 3 are pretty much the static between both of them. You know, number 1 is Fluttermane, number 2 is Urshifu, and I think for both, Tornadus is third. Could be Shenpao is third for Showdown. But then after that, you get, like, a big drastic shift. Like, Dragonite is number 5 for, I think, Switch Ranked. I have that many Pokemon before I beat them. Wow. Are you doing the Professor Oak challenge? So I know the Professor Oak challenge for this game is, like, you need to basically get every single Pokemon in the game. Oh, Sword and Shield. Right. Because you have the wild area. The issue is you can't catch some of them. The strong spawns, if they exceed a certain level, you are not able to actually catch them. So that's a little bit of a problem. Unless those are the ones that are not needing to be caught. Level up baby forms for 6 months. Well, yeah, but then there's ones like Conkeldurr, which you have to trade for. So how does Conkeldurr work? Does that, you can only get that if you catch the evolved one, or do you have to trade to get that one? I have to Google spreadsheet everything I need. Wow, that's intense, Aiden. Hello there, Rocky. How are you doing? Because that's the one thing about Professor Oak challenges I never really thought too much about is, how do you do trade evos? But the thing is, like, you can't catch the evolved form yet. So it's like, technically it's accessible, but you can't catch it because of the level thing. See, here's the thing. You say it is discount Machamp Ash, and yet it was consistently more used competitively. It was the competitive favorite over Machamp. Answer that, Ash. Answer that. How is it a discount version if it was the superior? Let's get it down. Yeah, Gen 5. Gen 5 stand. Yep, I am. But also, I go by the numbers. Competitively, once Conkeldurr hit the scene, Machamp snapped out of existence. Better HP, better attack, better ability, better stat spread. Gen 5 stand, or Gen 5 ban. I can evolve every Pikachu into a Raichu, Ash. Don't test me. I can make every Pikachu evolve. Do you want that to happen? Or not? Only Alolan Raichi. By the way, the next battle stream. Next battle stream's probably going to be Sunday. Battle streams were kind of in flux for a while, but because they were kind of in flux because of the anniversary of the channel. Well, anniversary of the streaming, so like now it should be going back to normal things. But I'm working on my Reg D team. So there's that. Doing good, madam. How about you? I'm doing okay. Other than, well, Ash bullying me. I'm doing okay. Nah, only Ash or Kayla can call me spoon-fed. That's the joke. Although I'll write you better than Kanto, right? No. No, you can't, Aiden. Wait, what was Greninja pre-ordered for? Yeah, Ash was the person who made the command spoon-fed. That was her creation. For better or worse, she has been the one to do that with her power. I did every ranked battle best of 3. That would, if every ranked battle was best of 3, it would go by like a freaking crawl. No one would play it. People want to go in and play best of 1s. Which is why I don't like best of 1s. Because best of 3s actually give you informative progress. I mean, pre-order what is the thing, Alpha? I don't know what you mean by pre-ordered. Like, that's the thing that needs a little bit of explanation. But Crocodile, well, not really Crocodile, Sandile, you better start shiny appearing for me or you're gonna get turned into a pair of boots and matching belt and handbag. Croco. What you talking about? Rosie! Lying is not good. Lying is not good, Rosie. It just does not look good on you. It does not look good on anyone. Silence with the lies, Rosie. Again, you know, much like telling Sly that I said you were good when I did not. And then denying you said such a thing. Lying is very unbecoming. And being mean is not good. It's not being mean if it is truthful, Rosie. I'm not being mean. I am just stating facts. These are demonstrable facts. Which makers were into You mean you had someone gen you poke? I'm not really understanding, Alpha. The funny thing is, Greninja's crap. Like, you can use Greninja, but it's just gonna be food for an actual team. All it will is prove, like, my kind of point about, because like, I don't like Greninja because it is bad. Like, the best of these actual progress towards the team. Exactly that, dude. That's why I don't like best of 1s. They don't actually inform you, because people will run best of 1 gimmicks that don't actually work on things like ladder. And you go up against those and it doesn't actually inform on an actual team. Which is kind of why I don't like best of 1s. I should have done this in an easier game. Yep. But I believe in Legends, a Professor Oak challenge is you have to get everything to like level 10. So like I don't know how Professor Oak challenge in Legends works. Wouldn't it be Professor Laventon challenge then? Because like Professor Oak didn't create the Pokedex. No, I want to use it to make me mad. Well, the thing is, it won't make me mad, Alpha. That's the key thing. It'll actually make me happy to see you use Greninja. Because it means I just get to destroy it. It's like, if anything, you're just making it better for me. Yes. Greninja destroying actually good Pokemon. That will be the day. That will be quite the day when Greninja destroys actually good Pokemon. Because here's the thing, just based on the ones you listed right there, there's a single member of my team that deletes all 3 of them from existence. For place on ladder access. I honestly don't really care about my ladder placement, because I just kind of ignore it. It's like, I do it just for, like, the rewards at the end of the thing and just for practice on a team. Because when it comes to, like, Showdown or this, like, placement doesn't really matter if you're not going up against actual teams that are going to be fought under the same circumstances. Experience is experience, with its own reward. Hi, Crimson. My places. I honestly don't know how to even check your placement on things, because I kind of don't really care. It's mostly for the experience and just finding out what the flaws in the team are, figuring out damage ranges and strategies. That's more so what the goal right now is, because I'm fully certain that when it comes time, I'm going to be figuring out a new team as time progresses, so I gradually iterate. Well, the thing is, Alpha, after you see my team, you will have already figured out what my teams are. How can I trust that you will not have deliberately tailor-made a counter team for me after you have seen what my team is? Is that truly a battle, then? Is that truly an actual fight? Or is that not? Master Ball tier is the only tier that you can go crazy and test on. Even then, in Master Ball tier, it's still best of 1, where best of 1 gimmicks can kind of still win. But it's... Master Ball tier is the closest you can get without going to somewhere like a dedicated Discord server. Because there are dedicated Discord servers and subreddits for, like, coordinating best of 3 things, which is why I love it. Casual battles infected by 6-year-old spamming legendary. Yeah, I mean, the good thing is that they're just spamming them. They're not actually able to do anything, but yeah, it annoys me when that happens as well. But it's one of those things that just kind of a consequence of the issue. But it's why you gotta cut through all the nonsense and get to the people who actually also want to be thing. I wish it couldn't be. But if he was, you would hate. Yeah. I mean, I hate Greninja also because of the fan service bullshit it gets. But the thing is, it's the fan service bullshit that it gets to make it good when it still struggles. It's like, even then, I would still kind of dislike it more so purely because of the fan service at that point. Right now, it's a bit of half and half. It's like, 1, it's just not good. 2nd, it's fan service. Like, anything that gets fan service, I disdain. That's why I don't like Megas. Oh, it was by far more than the anime Alpha. Remember, before X and Y was even out, they were already putting him into Smash. Even before the anime was out, even before the games were out, they already had Greninja is gonna be the center of Kalos. That was well before the anime was even out. There was a concerted effort. It has been the only time a Pokemon, or at least a starter, was designed not exclusively by Game Freak. Because they had to work with HAL when they were making Smash when it came to Greninja. None of them. I dislike all of them. The one I least dislike is Chestnut. Delphox's ear hair weirds me out. It just... Delphox is unsettling to me. Greninja's tongue scarf also weirds me out. Chestnut's like the one that kind of doesn't make me physically uncomfortable to look at. Disapproves in Fennekin language. Hey. Jared, look at the ear hair on that thing, and you tell me that doesn't look weird. You tell me that ear hair doesn't look unsettling. Pikachu's the best starter. I would not think that would be comfy having ear hair like that. No. Greninja's only popular because of it. No, Greninja was popular even before then. Greninja's popular because of a portion of the anime, but also because of Smash. You gotta remember, Smash has a very large effect on people. Because there's a lot of people who play Smash that aren't, like, Pokemon fans. And that's, like, the big center one. Have some apple juice. Built-in pillow for laying outside. I don't know if you've ever had long hair, Jared. They don't mix with pillows that well. Whenever I have, longish hair, and I lay down on my pillow, my head will slide off of it. Granted, it could be because my hair is so thick and long that it just doesn't cushion. I have had apple juice, yes. I prefer orange juice. But I have had apple juice, I've had grape juice, I've had grapefruit juice, I've had... What was one I had? There was one that I... Pomegranate juice, I think is one I had? No, not pomegranate juice. It was... I can't think of what it was. But it was a thing that I used to have when I had apple cider vinegar to help me lose weight. Don't ask. That was long story. Basically, it was like the two things would help to like make your body burn fat off. It's weird. I also orange juice is superior juice. OD is the superior. You just have to brush your teeth after because that way it doesn't chew through your teeth. Well, the orange juice doesn't eat through your teeth. It's like your body creates things to digest it that also work on eroding your teeth. It's complicated. One got killed by the enemy, the other killed by too much love. I would say Greninja. The reason why is that the thing about Charizard getting like as much as it does, that fundamentally comes from Charizard being popular was the reason it was put into things like the anime more heavily. Rather than the other way around, something being popular because it was in the anime. Now, with Charizard, it's more the case of innate popularity fueling more promotion, fueling more popularity that just eventually recirculates on itself, rather than being made popular, fueling fan love, fueling more popularity in its own self-sustaining cycle. It's kind of like one flows one way, one flows the other way, and at least for me, because I mean this is the way that I sort of like see things like that, if one is naturally a more prominent thing that the devs lean into, that is inherently slightly more justifiable. It's still annoying. I mean, both of them I think are bad, but one of them is slightly more understandable than the other. Ninja, but you got to admit the anime fights with... Not really. Because that's literally all it was. It was entirely set-piece things with just over-the-top Dragon Ball Z style. And, like, it didn't feel like Pokemon anymore. It felt like it was trying to emulate, like, Dragon Ball Z. Which... I don't watch Pokemon to seem like Dragon Ball Z. I watch Pokemon to be Pokemon. Just... It felt more generic anime than, like, actual Pokemon, is kind of the issue for me. I know a lot of people using Charizard and Sword and Shield, and now Scarlet Violet doesn't use it. Again, that's because Charizard is legitimately good in VGC with the Sun team. It's not only that good in this generation right now, at least because of Urshifu, but there are there is a reason to use Charizard competitively. Like, Solar Power Charizard is a freaking menace. And a half. Oh, I was a genuine Pokemon, very new Pokemon. I mean, I thought Macargo was a Gen 3 Pokemon. I thought Skarmory was a Gen 3 Pokemon. There's a lot of people that misplace the gens of certain Pokemon. It's not that uncommon. Even if you didn't like it, it was still the best part of Gen 6 without counting all rest. Yes, it was the best part of Gen 6 without counting the other part of Gen 6. I mean, that's by default. What was the first art I chose? The first art I chose was Piplup. Funny thing is, it is not my favorite starter from Generation 4. That is Infernape. How did you find Pokemon? No idea. Those things, I don't know where I started, like, Pokemon from. Like, I don't know where the origin point is. It was so long ago. It's one of those things that is kind of, as early as I can remember things, Pokemon has been there. Not Pokemon because my cousin's watching you know me. Yeah, like, saying X and Y is the best part of Gen 6 without leaving out Oras, that's the only part of Generation 6 that is not Oras. It's like, it's not a question at that point. That's just stating, yeah, it's the only other thing that Generation 6 added. Like, it's not a question at that point. That's just saying it's the only other thing, so by default, it's the best. I mean, Wobbuffet was actually designed in Gen 1. A lot of the almost all Generation 2 Pokemon, or Pokemon that were added in Generation 2, almost every single one of them was actually designed back in Gen 1, and almost every single one of them was actually a cut Gen 1 design. Lugia, I know, is the single exception that I know offhand. It is the exception. A lot of the others I don't know, but it is a very, very small number of them. Generation, you would force to choose anything. I would pick, we already went over this, Chespin. Because it's the one that I dislike the least. We've been over this. Where I would opt to not use them. Where there's really not too many Kalos Pokemon I actually like. It's like, other than the fossils, I will say, like, I think the fossils are probably pretty much the two of the best fossils they've made. Everything else is just kind of this gray area of indifference. That dude, we've done many Nuzlocks. We have done many, many Nuzlocks, that dude. You clearly have not gone and looked back at our playlist series. Pokemon and actually only these Pokemon you don't like, make you play X. I don't play ROM hacks. We've been over this before. I don't play ROM hacks. We've been over, a lot of the comments are kind of the same ones you've said before. Also, this conversation is kind of done because it's not a real enjoyable conversation. It also is kind of way too negative. It's feeling very spiteful. And no, this is fourth sandwich, no shiny. Wow. Sandile, you hate me. You really, really hate me, Sandile. That's okay. That's okay. We just gonna hunt you a bit more. We just gonna do a little bit more hunting. We got like 2.5 minutes left. Internal and external pain. Yeah, I never really... One of the reasons why we stopped playing Nuzlocke is I kind of, I guess, don't really understand the appeal of Nuzlocke. Because, again, it comes from, like, me playing a lot of competitive. So, like, I play, you know, set style, difficult against, like, actual people. And, you know, like, I know a lot of people do it because, like, the difficulty itch gets scratched. But for me, it's more of, like, it just feels like I'm playing the Battle Tower with random, like, it feels like I'm playing, like, the, what's the place? Battle Factory, that's what it is. We can play like the Battle Factory. Which isn't bad. I mean, I love the Battle Factory. But, again, it's one of those things where I think it's just the way that I think about the games, it doesn't scratch that particular itch. There's fossils and Jetsons are coming to Go on the 27th. Yeah, last time I played Go was a long time ago. I used to use an exercise aid. But, and after, like, I was able to motivate myself to exercise on my own, I no longer needed Go. Granted, the other part was graduating from college and, you know, well, not graduating, but, like, when COVID hit. What is your dream Pokemon game? The actual games. The actual games we get are my dream Pokemon games, Alpha. We've also been over this before. The reason I don't like fan games is that it promotes unintentional disdain of the actual official things. You have. Or at least a question very much similar to it. It's strawberry milk. Oh, strawberry milk was cool. That time was different. Never cared for strawberry milk. I was always a regular plain milk guy. Skim milk. That was my jam. I'm very, like, very basic. I'm a very basic person. I like burgers. I like fries. I like fish fry. I like pizza. It's like, I don't care for the complicated stuff. I just like what's simple and what works. Got celery sticks this morning at a breakfast program. No idea what that means. Let's get back to the Croco. Let's get back to the shiny Croco that refuses to sparkle. No, not quaff sticks. Smoke fillet. Bitter. Quick. But yeah, I prefer the actual official products of the game because I don't know. Fan products always seem to make people wish they were, like, the real games were more like them and dislike the actual games, which doesn't really make sense to me, which is why I avoid fan games like the plague. It's why, like, it's kind of the same policy I have with fan fiction. There's no such thing as good fan fiction, is kind of like my mentality. Yeah, again, it's oversimplification, but it's kind of the simplest way to put it. Hey, Go Looper, how you doing? You have Alpha. You have asked before. How you doing, Go Looper? How you doing? The streams are generally basically 20 questions for me. Yeah. Give me my shinies. Yeah, give me my shinies. Give me my sparkles. Give me my sparkles. Alright, let's see how many more shinies we don't get today. It's gonna be weird. Got mini pancakes at school. Nasty apple slices frozen. Hello, Gunthin, and how are you doing? Can one of the mods go grab Gunthin's link? I think Iron Mod potential. I think everything has potential. Other than Palafin, because Palafin's shit. I've seen some people actually doing things with Iron Moth. It was regulation Regulation B. I remember there was some Iron Moth usage. I haven't seen it as much as of late, but there was Iron Moth usage back in Regulation B. Lately? Don't know. I think right now Iron Moth is almost completely unviable because of one thing, and that is Urshifu. Because Urshifu just rips straight through it. If it was Electric Fire, completely different story. I think it would have been really viable. Hey, Metal. Yeah, Iron Moth was used very... Not even like an early Regulation B. It was used more at the beginning of Regulation B, but it was still somewhat there towards the end. A bit in Reg C. Reg D is just gone. I think it has some potential, but I think its flaws are just... Fluttermane is too good to, like, justify, like, a giving, like... It's overall better with Fluttermane, because Fluttermane it's faster, it's got a better offensive typing, better defensive typing, and better speed. And Iron Bundle is a better booster, energy speed booster, that also has, like, really good speed control, that isn't 100% bodied by Urshifu. But I think it's more issues dealing with Urshifu's existence right now than, like, anything else. A lot of things have issues with Urshifu's existence. I'm doing okay. We're looking for right now. Right now, I am looking for Sandile. We still need 2 more for our Living Shiny Dex. And this is on sandwich number 5. We've only gotten 1. So, game is not wanting to give us our little Croco. Our favorite little Unova Croco. Again, the good thing is, the shiny sticks out like a sore thumb, because it's yellow. Yeah, we're gonna do Pikmin 4. I enjoyed Pikmin 3. It was like, I would enjoy playing Pikmin 4 when it comes out. And it's also a thing of I do want to get expanding to play other games, you know, well, like other game series. I mean, I've played Pikmin 2, I played Pikmin 3. At some point I'm going to be playing Pikmin 1 and 2 as well, luckily for the channel. But yeah, Pikmin 4 I'm looking forward to. My only concern that I've seen so far with Pikmin 4, I'm worried there's just going to be so many Pikmin, it's going to get a bit unwieldy. Because there's... all the old Pikmin groups are turning. You got, you know, of course, the traditional, the red, yellow, blue. You've got the rock and flying Pikmin from Pikmin 3. You've got the purple and white Pikmin from Pikmin 2. I think Bulbmin are coming back. And then now there is the new Ice Pikmin. I think the Ice Pikmin were in one of the other Pikmin games. I could be wrong. But there's a lot of Pikmin now. There's... my worry is it's a bit much. And then it's going to be, okay, you need, like, 12 of each Pikmin, like, for all times. It's like, there's a bit of worry for there. But I look forward to it. You didn't miss anything, Stephanie. I have never played a Mario game. There's another series of someone I'm going to be playing. I think my first Mario game I'm going to play is probably Super Mario Odyssey. But all that depends on when the second Super Mario Odyssey comes out. If there even is going to be a second Super Mario Odyssey game. And whether it's like going to come out before like the next Nintendo console is released. So I'm still fairly leaning on that thing of they're probably going to be releasing a new system before they release, like, the next big Mario game. Why is Link short? Link's height, every Link's height is different. Like, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom Link is one separate incarnation of Link. Wind Waker's a different one. Twilight Princess Link is a different one. They're all different heights. I think some of the previous things have been fairly tall lads, but I know some of them also have been short. Like, Tears of the Kingdom, like, I'm pretty sure is 5'2". People, like, figured out based on, like, measurements of things in-game, which is actually a meter stick in-game, and they measured Link and figured out, yeah, he's actually 5'2". Short. We have our Odyssey, 3D World, the original, 3 Lost Worlds, and U Deluxe. None of those make any sense to me because I have no idea what that means other than Mario Odyssey. I've also played Mario Kart, but I don't count that. Like, it would be like saying I've played a Mario game, I have played Super Smash Bros. I wouldn't say they are comparable. Hello, Thunderous DJ, how you doing? Yeah, it's like... Look, I wouldn't consider Pokemon Unite a Pokemon game because it doesn't use, like, the traditional main mechanics. It's not comparable to the majority of the franchise. It's very clearly a spin-off. The closest in terms of spin-offs I would say get to being, like, comparable to the mainline continuity of the games would be, like, Mystery Dungeon Pokemon for Pokemon games, but even then, those are very, very different. They're vastly different from the mainline Pokemon games. Something wrong with my list. No see that on Route 2. Could you be using a list for version exclusive? I'm fairly certain C-Dot's a version exclusive. It could be that. No Gale of Darkness and Coliseum. I would say Gale of Darkness and Coliseum are mainline. I know people would fight on that, but I would say they use the exact same mainline series mechanics. You can trade them to the mainline games. They are mainline games. If Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee are officially classed as mainline games, I would say Coliseum and XD are also mainline games. Like, just based on how the games play. The games were weird. They were. However, it is very unlikely we will be getting anytime a remake of them because the issues of licensing and, like, copyrights are not owned entirely by Game Freak. Kind of the issue when the company that also made those games kind of goes under and copyrights get distributed, so they're not all held by a single thing. And the other thing is that the games probably didn't sell super well. We like the games, but they probably didn't sell very, very well. Because I remember the GameCube didn't sell as well as a lot of the other systems did. Never mind. I'm gonna do a Legends 1. How did the... So, what would be the rules for a Professor Oak challenge in Legends? Would it be everything has to get to level 10? Or... what? How would that work? Yeah, I love those games too. But it's very unlikely we're ever going to get a remake of them. It's kind of for the same reason we're probably not going to get another Mystery Dungeon game for a long time. Is it just comes down to the rights holders need to want there to be a remake of it, and they need to, like, agree, and Game Freak also needs to agree. That's why crossovers generally don't happen that often, because all the rights holders need to agree. So it's very unlikely that we will get another game like that, at least for a while. That's the reason why when, like, there were all those leaks saying Mystery Dungeon Sky Remake confirmed, secret link to Chunsoft on Pokemon's website in the lead up to Pokemon Presents back in February, that was sending off a lot of alarm bells and red flags. Like, this reeks of BS. This is entirely reeking of BS because there is no way that would happen. We shall see soon. 60, 200 for both. For what games, Gunthen? For which games? Yeah, the good thing is I actually have XD in Gala Dark and actually in Coliseum actually like right over like to the side. So I don't actually need to go and buy them. Like buying those games now, it would be ridiculously expensive because just so few people that probably have them still, and so few people want to sell them, and like people want to buy them. It's largely for the same reason why like buying copies of Black and White and Black 2 and White 2 are so insanely expensive. People just do not want to sell them, and they know the people who do have them to sell, they know they can charge an arm and a leg for them, and they know people will buy them. Nice. Yeah, I love those games. Eventually, we're going to get around to doing a series of XD Gala Darkness and Coliseum. Still got to figure out everything for those, though. Still got to figure out everything for that. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I have the necessary capture card materials for it. But it's more so a thing of, do I actually want to do bio cards? Again, the issue of that is I need to get good at programming so I can actually create the bio card template. Gift card, yeah, it's a great game. They are great games. But I honestly, this is kind of the interesting thing about XD Gala Darkness and Coliseum. I think it's because they were these, you know, two-off games. We like them more. If we had multiple games like it, I don't think they would be nearly as memorable. It's kind of for the reason why something like Legends sticks out to us. It's also for the reason why when Breath of the Wild came out, that game stuck out so much. It was different. Pure and simple, it was different. So the difference sticks out to us more. And then when more like it come along, it just kind of becomes bleh. It becomes old hat at that point. And eventually the same thing that we have with the previous ones sets in, and we start to think about them the exact same way. You know, it's like if the next Legend of Zelda game is like open world in the same style as Breath of the Wild, you know people it's going to set in, the same thing is going to happen again and again and again. And people are going to be wanting more. Because when something's revolutionary, you have a more positive mind to it, and it feels more special because it is different. Once it no longer is special, you care much less for it. You know, that's why, like, Pokemon Ranger. Yeah, there was a couple Pokemon Ranger games. There were 3 of them, so like it spread out and it sort of diffused as time went on. Mystery Dungeon Explorers. You know, Mystery Dungeon, Rescue Team, then Explorers, then like Gates to Infinity, then Super Mystery Dungeon. There was a lot more of them, and it became less special as time went on. But yeah, that's kind of the thing that happens. It's one of the reasons why I say like that particular thing that happens, I have a term for that. I call it Breath of the Wild syndrome. Because Breath of the Wild was like all that when it first came out. And you know, even like before Tears of the Kingdom came out, Breath of the Wild was like still all that. And then Tears of the Kingdom came out. And Breath of the Wild just faded into the ether and like no one seemed to care about it. You know, you extrapolate that out to say they release another Pokemon Legends game, like in the same style as Legends. Legends Arceus is just going to fade away into nothing and no one's going to care about it. And then, like, the new Legends game will be all people care about. And then, you know, when the next one comes out, same thing. It's going to fade into nothingness. Because it recaps that same specialness, but eventually, after, like, 2, 3, 4 games, that specialness wears off. That's one of the reasons why I think that there's may not be another Legend. I have a video like about this, like discussing hypothetically what future Legends games will do and can do, and then really going over like, is it likely for there to be a sequel? So stay tuned for that. And it's a very interesting thing. Again, like, it's directly compared to the reaction of like Breath of the Wild from Tears of the Kingdom. It's like it's a very interesting dynamic, and it's one of those things that I think Game Freak is definitely aware of, that if they make another one, it will basically kill what made Legends special. And it will just become old hat at that point. Yeah, it's a very interesting thing sort of look at. Because a lot of the stuff that happened with like Legends was actually like very, very similar to what happened when like Pokken Tournament, I think that's the name of it, like that fighting game that they have. Like that was like, this is what's gonna be, and then it's like it never happened, and like it just kind of faded away into the ether. Because Legends is what, like a little over a year old at this point. Yeah, Legends is like a year and a half old at this point. It's one of those things that I think, you know, when enough time is removed, you know, it's just gonna like fade away into the nothing. Which is fascinating to think about. But also, it makes sense considering it was like largely a scaffolding for this game to come from. Because this game used the modified version of Legends engine, which was a modified version of Sword and Shield's engine. It was kind of made as a bit of a jumping off point for this game. The reason why that game runs a little bit smoother is that it was compartmentalized and they scaled everything down. They made the game very small for a reason. Because it was basically a tech demo. Kind of like how Let's Go was a bit of a tech demo for Scarlet Violet. Not Scarlet Violet, Sword and Shield. That's what I'm expecting when they release like the next Nintendo system. We're gonna get like a new top-to-bottom game engine for like that Pokemon game that will run far better. Because like making a new game engine for this game wouldn't they would hemorrhage money. Like, yeah, Pokemon in Game Freak make a lot of money, you know, as is. Like, they are like I believe the second most successful video game franchise in the world. They're not gonna hemorrhage a couple $1 million, you know, several $100 million most likely, you know, on just a new game engine, and then when they go over to the next console, have to top to bottom rebuild a new game engine and be hemorrhaging even more money until they can recoup those investments. They're not gonna do that. Which is why I think it's very makes sense that they're gonna be waiting until the next system to make a top to bottom new engine. But it is going to be interesting to see as time moves on. So I'm almost wondering what they're going to do for the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. I know a lot of people think like Generation 10 is going to come out in, like Gen 10 is going to be the 30th anniversary. I don't think that's going to happen. Because we kind of forget at this point, we kind of take this for granted, but like, the term generation is not an official term. That's actually a fan term. Like pseudo-legendaries. It's sort of a colloquial fan term that not really has been adopted officially, but it's like it's a thing that is used so widely it is mistaken for being an official term. And then there's actually a lot of things like this, like people calling legendaries mythicals, like mythicals legendaries, that are actually completely separate branches of things. It's fascinating to think. It's a very, very fascinating, like, thing. Also, freaking Sandile. What the heck? Why are we not getting any shinies? Like, what? This is 5 sandwiches. Only 1 shiny at all. All these sandwiches we've done. they use what we call it. They don't use it officially. They don't use the generations in any official capacity. That is an entirely fan-created term. Basically, any fan term, they don't use. The closest was like that term that people call the Eevee family, but even then, that was the first appearance of that was a pun in Pokemon Stadium, which is like where the thing kind of spirals off from. But like the other like things like Generation, Pseudo Legendaries, those were all like those aren't official. They're just colloquialisms, which is fascinating when you really think about it. It's like just that level of like just community osmosis. Now the unfortunate side of this is that incorrect information also kind of diffuses in the exact same way. But it's just fascinating to think about. Like that is the effect of how interconnected the Pokemon community is, and just how strong just information sharing within the community is. Stephanie, what have we said before? Yeah, it is fascinating to see just that level of community interconnectedness. Some of the game developers, when some developers do JRPG, they have potential to end another mass phenomenon known as every kid. Every time it's a chat. Oh my gosh. I approve of the reference. I approve that reference, Jared. I didn't realize until like partway through what you were doing, and I love it. That was pretty good. Now I want to really go rewatch Ben 10. I hate that I want to go rewatch because it's a great show. Yeah, it's gonna be, but yeah, I don't think that they're gonna wait for the 30th anniversary to do anything with Generation 10. It's because they don't really care about, like, for them, the generation thing is not, like, a division. It's every game its own separate, individual, self-contained thing. And more likely what they will do for that 30th anniversary is they will just, like, re-release, like, something to do with, red, blue, and green. Is more likely what they'll end up doing than actually releasing, like, Generation 10. So that's just... It's just that cold, calculating business mindset that we kind of have to sometimes think about. Because we tend to think about it from, like, the consumer standpoint. Less of, like, how would a cold, calculating money engine think about this? Because we think about from, like, the fan idea, which, like, yeah, this would sell well, less than, like, what actually the business side has. Which is fascinating. It's like, the both sides of it is equally fascinating to see the perspectives on. Now, freaking Sandile, when will you appear as Shiny? Like, first it was Slowpoke, now it's this. Like, I don't know what's going on with it. Why is our shiny luck just absolutely garbage now? Like, we generally did well with our shinies. Now it's just like, what happened? Like, what the freak happened to our shiny luck? It's weird. We might also be ending off a bit early. I am getting a little more tired than I normally am right now. That could be from the editing spree that I did earlier. But we are going to probably be ending off earlier today. Tonight is a fun mod to use. Fun to use, I would agree. Fun to face, no. But yeah, I'm working on my team, my Regulation D team. I probably am going to be putting in something to deal with the Dragonite at some point. But man, I don't even know how I'm going to start wrapping my head around how I deal with Dragonite. Because, like, right now, my thought processing for it is like, okay, well, if you're... Well, then again, I feel like when the best of threes kick out with Dragonite, it's going to become less threatening. So it's one of those things that as it gets closer to the regional events, I think things are going to change, because we've only had Reg D for 2 weeks. We've only had 2 weeks of Reg D. A lot can change. I use Dragonite mainly to counter DD Armor Rouge and seal the game with End with Speed. How do you use Dragonite to counter DD Armor Rouge? How? That doesn't really make sense, because Psychic Terrain blocks the thing. Wait. Dragonite gets Ice Spinner? What? Dragonite learns Ice Spinner. I know it got Ice Punch and Ice Beam. Ice Spinner? That move is probably the one that flummoxes me the most. It's like that move. The things that learn Ice Spinner legitimately hurt my brain. Like, apparently Urshifu learns it. Like, what? What about Urshifu spins? Why does, like, I can understand, like, Donphan and Great Tusk and Iron Treads learning it. That makes sense. I can see that. One is a tank, the other basically are wheels. Okay, so Titan is an ice type. That at least kind of makes sense. But, like, Dragonite? Why Dragonite? Like, Urshifu and Dragonite are the ones that just do not make sense for learning it. That hurts my brain. Like, again, I can understand Great Tusk, I can understand Iron Treads, I can understand Donphan. But Dragonite? I'm gonna need to look over what actually learns Ice Spinner now just to see more pain. Whirl Spins, yes. Whirl Spins. What do you mean whirlwinds? I'm pretty sure the whole thing of Ice Spinner is like the Pokemon itself, like, just spins. Like, it goes full on Beyblade mode. Beyblade Pokemon. God. That is a series I have to rewatch at some point just to see, like, how silly Beyblade was. Like, I need to experience the silliness that was Beyblade. It's a Beyblade joke you made here. I don't have the brain cells to figure it out, but brilliant work. I had a brilliant book of poetry earlier. Wait, hold on. I swear, if you grab Beyblade Moses, Jared, I am gonna hunt you down and throw you out of a window. You know what? I'll take that. I will always take a Chugga Conroy reference. A Chugga Conroy joke is always acceptable here at MetaMaxis Incorporated as currency. You have saved yourself from defenestration, Jared. You have saved yourself. Yeah, I think we're gonna call, you know what? We'll go one more sandwich. We'll go one more sandwich. I have a feeling Hitmontop's gonna get Ice Spinner. Alright, let's just, like, look at what the freak learns Ice Spinner, because I need to have a good laugh after this, like, horrendous run of sandwiches. Learn set. Starting then. Jiggly... Why can Jigglypuff learn it? Why can Articuno learn it? Delibird? What? Obama Snow? Okay, Hisuian I can understand. Specifically, Hisuian Sliggoo and Gudra? No, makes no sense. Kamala? Dreadnought Frostmoth? This hurts my brain. He's like, yeah, evolution lines of Shoulder Pineco, Dunsparce, Bronzor, Marini, plus Glalie, Frostlass, Cryogonal, Hisuian, Sliggoo, and Frostmoth all can learn this move, in which the user covers its feet in thin ice, despite not having feet. What? Pokemon moves make my brain hurt. Like how apparently Spheal can learn Earthquake, but Zekrom can't. I have hit my daily brain cell allowance. Okay, Jared. Brain cell gone. To be fair, Jared, did you have any brain cells to begin with? Is the real question. Do you have any spare brain cells? But yeah, we're gonna go for one more sandwich tonight. And again, if you guys haven't done so, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. Nonsense. Nonsense. Kayla, we know I'm not spoon-fed. If I was spoon-fed, this wouldn't be sandwich number 6, and we've gotten one shiny so far. Of all 6 of those sandwiches. This is definitive proof of not spoon-fedness. This is proof. If I was spoon-fed, it wouldn't have taken half this sandwich. Search up who can learn. I already know the stupid things of who can learn fly. I've already seen that list. Like, I know Volibee can learn fly, despite the fact that the DEX entries literally say it cannot fly yet. Trust me, there's a number of them I'm aware of for how stupid they are. There's a list. Not Hammer Arm, not yet at least. I'll check on that. I'll check that one later. I will have to go check that one out later. As I kind of want to make a video of me just like looking over stupid learn sets for things that just don't make sense. But then we literally be here for weeks because there's so many learns that just don't make sense. Again, things that can learn Earthquake that really don't make sense, and things that make sense to learn Earthquake but don't learn it. I'm not spoon-fed, Kayla. If I was spoon-fed, I'd have these shinies already. If I was spoon-fed, we'd have shiny Poipole. We'd have shiny Arceus, even though I haven't shiny hunted it yet. The Hammer Arm was a solid fighting type move, but it lowered people one. Look, the thing is, it's not that bad of a move if you're running a Trick Room team. Or you have Contrary. Like, it isn't a horrible move, it's just not great. Like, it's not terrible. Like, it's usable. The funny thing is, they made Hammer Arm, and when it's like, yeah, but close combat literally exists. Like, why would you ever use... The only benefit to using Hammer Arm is that if you have Iron Fist, it deals more damage, because it actually is boosted by Iron Fist. But, like, you're never going to use it. It's not worth it. It's like budget close combat. I am challenging the Galarian Rock Gym Leader. Ah, Gordy. That loser. You do take the... You are always spoon-fed, Foxy. You are a highly spoon-fed. I am not spoon-fed. I am definitively not spoon-fed. Hey, thank you for the dono, Braidstar! Thank you, Braidstar. Everyone give it up for Braidstar. The Braidstar. Braidstar, the legend, the hero, the Badoo. How you doing? Will the dono luck come through? Will the dono luck come through? I don't think it will, because this thing is being a shoe and is gonna get turned into a matching handbag and pair of boots. Sandal, how come you betray me? Unlike you, man. I will admit to being spoon-fed when I am presented of irrefutable evidence of being spoon-fed, Kayla.
Until then, I will say I am not spoon-fed, because we know that I'm not.
Yeah, Blorb, they are. They are, Blorb. Remember, I read all the messages, I just don't verbally acknowledge all of them. And again, guys, if you haven't done so, please don't forget to leave a like on the stream if you haven't done so already. We are probably even more single than I'm not spoon-fed. Ah, yes. It isn't the demon voice, Rosie. It's the Helios voice. Get your name right. You would know the name of it if you actually watch the other streams. Fake fan Rosie confirmed. Fake fan confirmed. Yeah, we're probably not even gonna get all the way through this sandwich. I don't know why I'm so... Then again, I think I know why I'm so tired today. It's been a very long string of editing and recording today. Hear the radio, it's gonna be quarter-sized. Hail 10 seconds later. Hail is terrifying. Hail is just giant balls of ice literally falling from the sky. You know what I call that? Nightmare fodder. That is literally what nightmares are made of. No, I know what being spoon-fed is. Remember, Stephanie, I was with the people when they made the joke of spoon-fed. I am intimately familiar with the spoon-federy that is spoon-fedness. Which is why I know I am not spoon-fed. I watch Pokemon because DOTK is when I am bad. Normally I just watch Pokemon. We stream TOTK at the same time we stream Pokemon. It's the same times. But it also means that you don't watch our recorded series, Rosie. Which is what the fake fan identification is for. You don't watch the video series. It is important to watch the video series, as they get very, very important insight into plans. But you should change that, Rosie. After all, our Splatoon 3 videos, you may learn something about better Splatoon playing from. So then you can live up to the talk you give yourself about Splatoony things. One could say it would be beneficial to watch the videos. How about no, Rosie? Honestly, there are times I legitimately want to, like, stream just like this with, like, my face not, like, barely visible. I don't think it would work well. No, I'll upload a short of this and let everyone, like, ask the peanut gallery of the future determine if we actually do this in the future. Because, like, it just kind of comical looking at, like, at the screen like this. Which is like, my eyes are just, like, barely visible like this. It's just, like, I don't know. I feel it's, I don't know. It amuses me. Now, granted, that would probably kill my eyes. Like, my eyes would hurt after doing that. But, yeah, it's one of those things. I was probably going to shave after stream. This leeching parasite that is attached to my face has to be carved off. I hate this thing. I will never understand how people can get facial hair, like get like a big beard and stuff. That's like, it's just how. It itches. It's irritating. How do they do it? Can't see him knock off his glasses. You're funny, Foxy, except not really. I haven't knocked my glasses off in over 2 months. Right? It's been a long time since that happened. It's been a long time. The last time that happened, we were hunting Oshawott. It does for me, Gunthin. It does for me. And I hate it. Like, I know that once it gets past a certain point, it stops itching, but it's like getting past that point, it's just no. There was a time I let it grow out for like 2 weeks. And then it was the entire, like, after like 3 days, for like the next several ones, like, in pain. And nap and cry. That's not good. That's not good, Blorb. Why was the cry? Why was cry? Yeah, I don't think we're gonna make it through the rest of the sandwich. The fact that Billy Duck can learn Ice Spinner is hilarious. Balloon Beyblade, yeah. It's like I choose to imagine it just tap dances. But it's just Beyblade. It's just Beyblade mode. Omar Go is Beyblade mode. But I think we're gonna be going. I think we're gonna be ending off soon. Like I am not developing a headache, but my eyes are starting to hurt a little bit, which again comes from like recording a lot of Metroid Dread today. Like I spent a good while recording Metroid Dread, recording some more Link to the Past, and editing. So I think probably gonna need to give my eyes a rest. The question is, who are we gonna raid? Let's go raid Ember. She's doing some TOTK. 10, because we share tons of, yep. Looking is different for you, mine is. Yeah, it could be. I mean, my hair is very thick. I have the thick Italian hair genes. But yeah, I think we are gonna be ending off. I am developing a little bit of a headache. And I want to go send the love to someone. Air conditioning issues, yikes. Anxious with that air conditioning issues. Freaking heck. 248 for Solgaleo? Freaking heck. Let's go right anxious. He's doing some DAs and dynamite. Hey Z-Dark. Hey Z-Dark. You kind of came in like towards the end. We kind of are ending off like right now because I'm developing a little bit of a headache. Just staring at a screen too long. So we're gonna go raid anxious. Yeah. Don't worry, Z-Tar. There more Link to the Past has been recorded. We are working on the final dungeon. You know the dungeon. And suffering has begun. I spent a lot of time grinding rupees because I need the magic medicine. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Swirly Coley out. We are gonna go raid the one and only Mr. Anxiousest of Christian. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace. I know we gotta watch our playlist recorded series. Those are the most important thing to help the channel, is watching the old recorded stuff. Particularly watch the Metroid stuff if you want to see Drunk Maxis.